Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. Jonathan Williams is the CEO of our colleagues at the American Legislative Exchange Council. Jonathan is also the chief economist at ALEC. You can go to alec.org anytime you want, but if you want to get the weekly newsletter, alec.org/Hugh. Jonathan, I'm glad to see you again. I see Michigan in the background, peeking over the Upper Peninsula, which really belongs to Wisconsin, but we'll talk about that some other day. I read your op-ed in The Hill about Iowa and other states. Why don't you tell people what you were writing about? Because it's not just the taxes, it's also the spending.
Well, that's the common sense approach that we like to take at ALEC, and is just the basic of what states have to do every single year. 49 out of the 50 states have balanced budget amendments in their constitution or state law. And so the linkage between great tax policy that we often talk about and these huge wins of states moving to flat taxes or trying to remove their income taxes for economic growth reasons, Hugh, the way to do that is by spending less and prioritizing your spending. And so the piece I had in The Hill was really giving some much needed kudos to Governor Kim Reynolds of Iowa, ALEC alumni member when she was a state senator, and the Iowa legislators who have come in and done that heavy lifting on the spending side of the equation. One of the things that stuck out to me as we were looking at this, Hugh, is Iowa has actually consolidated agencies down to about 50% reduction in total government agencies across Iowa. I mean, they were kind of doing Doge before it was cool here in Washington, but it's a great testament to the great work of Governor Reynolds and the legislators in Iowa.
People can hold it up as an example of what to do. Let's do an example of what not to do. TABOR in Colorado is close to being sacred. You know, and I've been in and out of Colorado for 30 years. I taught at Colorado Christian one semester. I love the place. But TABOR, I don't know what it stands for. John Andrews and everyone tell me they'll never move TABOR. Now the Democrats in Colorado are trying to, it's basically a tax freeze. What are they trying to do to TABOR?
Yeah, TABOR, the Taxpayer's Bill of Rights, has been in the Colorado State Constitution for more than 30 years now, and it really puts the brakes on overspending and overtaxing, and has been the one thing I think you can point to look at Colorado and where it's gone politically, very blue lately and progressive in its politics. It's been the one thing in its state constitution that has kept the state from becoming California East, and that is it doesn't allow government to grow faster than the economy. I know it's a novel concept, but I mean, back to this idea of balancing spending and taxing. And so you have the far left progressives in Colorado trying to dismantle it because they think, and rightly so, that is their impediment to making Colorado a welfare state and have it be a big government state. Voters, every time they have it as an option on the ballot to retain or to repeal TABOR, now for more than 30 years, have overwhelmingly voted to keep that common sense limit in the Colorado Constitution, Hugh.
It reminds me of Prop 13 in California. It's the one thing that Californians have is that they put Prop 13 in 1978, and every attempt to repeal it has failed, but they do nibble away at the margins out there as California nibbles away against the ability to do business completely, including Bed Bath & Beyond. So let's talk about what did Bed Bath & Beyond say in a message to California this week, John Williams?
Well, this is something everybody needs to check out, the official statement from the executive chairman at Bed Bath & Beyond, because they said what we've been saying, Hugh, for now more than 2 decades at ALEC, which is California is nearly uninvestable for certain types of businesses. And they said it directly, that the statement wasn't about politics. It was about reality for Bed Bath & Beyond becoming California so high cost, whether it's taxes or labor regulations or other costs of doing business. It's something that has now driven yet another employer out of the state. And Gavin Newsom had somewhat of a pathetic response where he tried to throw some shade at the business instead of addressing the root cause. You know, instead of projecting against businesses, it would seem a little bit more of a good approach for California and other liberal states to actually look at themselves in the mirror and say, what is it that is causing businesses to flee? And by the way, keeping businesses from coming and investing in our state.
You know, there's a celebrity chef, Andrew Gruel, and Chef Gruel was on with Ben Domenech on the Big Ben podcast. The cost of running a restaurant in California is extraordinary, John. I could not believe it. No wonder the state is collapsing. Do you think that they will ever get the parachute and pull the ripcord?
Well, you have to hope so. I mean, I think, I'm an optimist, Hugh, as you know. I mean, I think there's hope for every state. If it can be turned around in places like West Virginia and others, I think it can be turned around anywhere. But first, you have to acknowledge you have a problem, right? That's the first step. Stop digging the hole deeper. And certainly with Gavin Newsom in the governor's seat, that's not going to happen anytime soon in California.
I'm afraid not, but if you're a California legislator and you're listening right now, join ALEC. Go to alec.org/U if you want the State of the States weekly newsletter, alec.org/U, alec.org/U. And don't forget, find out how your state stacks up at richstatespoorstates.com. They'll send you the free book, best book you can have in your house. Every visitor will read it. I swear to you, every visitor immediately goes to their state to see how they rank. richstatespoorstates.com. Thank you, John. I'll be right back, America. Stay tuned.